Well, hello, and welcome back to the ultimate guide to great off-market real estate deals. My name is Jesse Lennon. I'm the principal broker at Pioneer Realty, and I'm the founder of Rich Agent Coaching. I'm sorry I don't have a whole lot of extra lighting here. It's a overcast, rainy day. We need the rain, so I'm certainly not complaining about that. It was brought up to me after part one that it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to have me in there somehow so that people at least have an idea of who the heck it is that's actually talking. I know I had my picture on there once. I'm just not one of those people that feels like I've got to have my face plastered all over everything. So the person that had shared this with me, though, I respect their opinion, and that makes sense to me. So hope you don't mind my head being shrunk up a little bit over here in the corner. So this is going to be a little faster and a little shorter, I suspect, than the first one. The first one was about 45 minutes, I think, or so in duration. But I didn't feel like I could compress it much more and still give you value that I'm really looking to give you. So let's get into that great quote that I like an awful lot, and that is, you earn income from doing. And it's 100% true. I mean, things that you are actively engaged in doing on a daily basis, listing homes, selling homes, maybe buying something to fix and flip, hey, that's income from doing. You know, you have to be there, you've got to show up all the time, and you're having to always be engaged in that process, in the doing. So the next part of that, though, is you create wealth from owning. And that's the part of that quote that I really love. I mean, it just really resonates with me. You create wealth from owning. That's when you do something once, like you buy a great piece of investment real estate, and you keep that sucker. It continues to throw off great cash flow from rental income month after month after month, year after year after year after year. Love that idea. However, I will say this. I think I just recently saw, probably 25 minutes ago, what may very well be my new favorite quote. And if not, it's going to be right up there next to it. So check this out. If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, think about that for a moment. If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, like rental, you will work until you die. Warren Buffett. Now that's a very powerful quote. Oh, by the way, you may see me look a little bit off to the side. I don't think I'd be treating you fairly if I just tried to wing this whole presentation, so I do have some notes over to the side. I will occasionally refer to that because I really want to make sure that you are able to get everything out of this presentation that I can hopefully pack in it. I've got to be respectful of your time. I mean, this isn't something that can last for days and days and weeks and weeks. That may be later, but for the moment, this is a short presentation. My goal is to give you a lot of great content in it, and for you to please get your own free content, your own free guide, to off-market real estate deals. Simply go to that website, click the website that should be right up top, enter your name and email address. It's just that simple, and I'm going to email out that guide to you as soon as it is edited, which is actually almost done at this point. In the meantime, though, I do have some very nice gifts, just as my way of saying, hey, thanks for putting up with me while we're editing. In any case, what we're going to do is we're going to go over 12 of the 23. In the first presentation, there were 11 of the 23 ways that we went through to find great real estate deals. And these real estate deals, I mean, gosh, you can use them to take more listings. You can use them to make more sales. You can use it to invest in real estate. Find the property, buy it, keep it yourself, maybe use it as a flip. That choice is yours. I like rentals. Everybody's different. So the first group may sound a little bit like the one that we went over last week, and that's REI groups. But investor groups, in my mind, are a little different. These are people not so much that do a lot of the flips. And what I found, just me personally, is that a lot of people in the REI groups are really either wholesalers or they're people that are doing more of the flips. And what this is really more of a These are more people that own rentals. Okay, so as an example, here in the Richmond area, we have a group here that I felt helped start 26, 27, actually I guess about 27, 28 years ago. Now it's called Richmond Property Owners Association. And that's a group of great like-minded property owners that get together once a month. We have great speakers, discuss good topics that are pertinent and relevant to us, maybe new changes to laws coming about. And it's just a great group of people. So investor groups, you will also find in some of these, real estate agents are there, insurance agents, lenders. So there's a diverse group of people that hang out here at the investor groups. So far with the REI groups, I've not really run into very many investors, not investors, insurance agents or lenders. There may be some hard money lenders, but not the lenders for like rental property that's going to be long term. Now, next is going to be direct mail into an area you'd like to buy within. Hey, there's always going to be an area that you really like. You'd like to buy more property in that area. And so that's the idea behind the direct mail into an area you'd like to buy. Look, it could be as simple as a little postcard. I get a lot of them that are yellow for whatever reason. Some look like they're handwritten. Some look like they're just typed. Some have a real live stamp on them. Others have just the little indicia, where it's a bulk mail. Doesn't really matter. I don't think. Just pick an area that you like. Direct mail, you're just going to send them all out. You can get carried away with it and actually do some personalization on each one. That's going to cost a little bit more. It can probably have a much better response rate when you've personalized it. But nonetheless, the idea is the same. I do want to mention something that's really cool, though. The U.S. Postal Service, USPS, if you go to that website, type in EDDM. That stands for Every Door Direct Mail. And that is the neatest thing I've ever seen. What you can do once you get there is you'll type in the zip code, and you'll see a map of the area that zip code encompasses. Then what you can do is click on individual areas within that map, and you'll find the postal carrier's route within that zip code. It'll even tell you how many homes as well as homes and businesses are on that route. Now the cool thing about using EDDM is that you can use oversized publications. So it can be like an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. You can print front and back. You don't have to fold it. You don't have to put postage on it, and you don't have to address it. You just simply, and look, all that information is at the post office website. They're a great set of printers that are online that you'll find that can do that EDDM printing. They're set up for it. They do it very quickly, very affordably. And it really is just a great, great resource to use if you're looking to mail within a large area, just one big area. Now, next, kind of related, is direct mail to non-owner occupieds. Well, non-owner occupieds, those are people that, they have a home, they don't live there, it's a rental property for them. They may be interested in selling because, look, you may have found just one home that they have. They might have 10 or 12. I've bought quite a few from one letter to one guy about one address, but it turns out they had multiple properties that were looking to sell them all. This is kind of the same idea, but this is where I get mail. I get a lot of those little postcards. They just about all say the same thing. Sometimes they're addressed to an owner of a property, maybe an entity I owned, but I sold the property 2 years ago, and I still get letters to that address. Sometimes they mix up that address and another property, and so I get the one name that used to be associated with owning one address mailed to my office, but it references another address in another part of town. So I don't know how they mix that up in their database, but it happens. However, direct mail to non-owner occupied properties can be very, very lucrative. And I would strongly suggest that you really think about adding that to your to your portfolio of tricks, tips, your bag of tools, what have you. It really is a very effective way to go. The only thing I would suggest to you is please, please, don't use the same service that all these other people use, because all the dang yellow postcards look the darn same. Use a little personality, use a little creativity. It's okay to use just a plain old envelope without it being in a postcard. But if you're going to put it in an envelope, put it in a colored envelope, right? I got a buddy of mine that sends out red envelopes, green envelopes, yellow envelopes, and I mean these are like these colors, okay? Like blue and green and yellow. Those are bright envelopes. So when you get them, that stands out in your mailbox. You want to open it because you want to find out who in the world sent me this crazy colored envelope. So, and look, if you want to do one other thing, I think is really cool, and we've had a fair amount of success with it in a different business I used to own, is we had a letter, we put it together, real nice. I took a little pack of aspirin. Actually, I think it was Tylenol, just a little small pack. You know, it had like 2 aspirin or 2 Tylenol in the pack. And I stapled it to the top of the letter, folded it up, stuffed it in an envelope, and mailed it out. It was really simple. It just said, is your blank giving you a headache? So, as an example, it could be, is your rental giving you a headache? Take 2 aspirin and call me. Hey, you could end it there. Anyway, I think you get the idea. Direct mail to non-owner occupiers can be a great resource for you. Now, evictions, that's just a fact of life. If you own rental property, at some point you're going to have somebody that for whatever reason has just decided they don't want to pay you. Maybe it's not that they don't want to. Maybe they just had a financial issue happen in their life and they can no longer pay you. It's hard to say. Things happen for different reasons, but nonetheless, you may find yourself in a situation of having to do an eviction. If another property owner maybe didn't analyze the deal right, maybe they didn't buy it right, maybe they've got the wrong people in there, they're not managing the property correctly, hey, they may very well be doing an eviction, hating that they own that property and would love to sell. You can go to the courthouse and just contact them in advance so you know where to go. Ask where they keep a record of the judgments for non-payment of rent. In Virginia, they're referred to as unlawful detainers. So you go to wherever they keep those records. You don't have to go every day. Maybe just go once every other week. And just copy down the address and the owner's name. And then you'll be able to get the rest of the information and send those people a letter. It could be kind of like that aspirin letter, right? Hey, we noticed you just had to go through and get a judgment and are working towards an eviction. What a headache. Look, I feel your pain. Take these aspirin and give me a call. Could be that simple. Next are tax delinquent. Now, honestly, this is one of my favorites. Love tax delinquent properties. Every locality has property the taxes are behind on. Every locality, no matter where you're at. Some states do things a little differently than they do here in Virginia. Some states do what's referred to as a tax lien. So they'll lien the property, they'll sell the lien, and gosh, you could buy that lien. Maybe it's a $5,000 tax bill, but for whatever reason, you're buying that tax bill for maybe $1,000, $1,500. So the people that own the property, if they don't pay that lien within a given period of time, you get to take the property. Now, of course, you may be getting that property with another lien, another loan, or something of that sort on the property. Maybe there's other judgments. But it could be, if you do your homework, a very lucrative way to buy. In Virginia, unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess depends on how you look at it, the localities will allow people to become delinquent in their tax bill for quite a good number of years, and that dollar amount can grow and grow and grow. The highest one I've ever seen was just, 3 months ago, I think it was, might have been 4. The gentleman that owned the property inherited it, no loan. However, he never paid real estate taxes. And between the taxes, the late fees, penalties, attorney fees, it was like $62,000 or $63,000 this gentleman owed just in back taxes. And that didn't count the other liens like hospital bills, etc. So tax bill or tax delinquent properties can be awesome ways to buy properties. The people have stopped paying, they've got financial issues, and in most cases here, where do I sign? Get rid of this problem for me, right? So it's a great way to go. I actually have a tax delinquent property that I purchased not long ago. We are in the process of doing renovations. I've already sold a building lot off of it. And so that one really looks like it's going to provide a very nice profit. In any case, next are auctions. Now, I kind of alluded to that earlier, right? Because when people get behind in their taxes, it doesn't go on forever. At some point, the locality is going to auction that property off. So you have real estate tax auctions, for back taxes, where they'll auction it. They may not get what they are owed. If they actually sell it for more than what the balance of the taxes are, then they've got to do their darndest to try and find that owner and give the money to them. If not, the state here kind of hangs on to it until these people kind of pop up out of the woodwork. But you also have other types of auctions. You have estate auctions where a lot of times people are selling the contents of a home and they're selling the home itself. You'll also find, and that's kind of along the lines of maybe a probate, that kind of thing. You'll also find just regular real estate auctions. And here in the Richmond area, gosh, we'll wind up seeing anywhere from 3 to 4 times a year, people just getting enough together. And there's one big auction firm here in my area where they do the lion's share of those auctions, and they're auctioning off homes. May not be tax delinquent, may not be any problem with them. It's just that's how the person decided to sell that property. Now, so there are auction firms that do specialize in different types of auctions. You will find some that just do vehicles. You'll find some that just do land. So contact a few of the auction firms in your area to find out what they specialize in. And if it's not the type of auction you're interested in, ask them who does. They'll be glad to tell you. The next are wholesalers. And these really are great people. They really are. They spend all of their time, all of their effort, all of their energies finding great real estate deals. You'll find a lot of these people do hang out in the REI groups. But wholesalers will find the deal. They're generally always off market. They'll find the property, get it under contract at a great deal. Then what they do, since they don't have the ability to buy it themselves, they will look to sell that deal. They'll assign the contract, and they'll get a little bit of money out of that process. So as an example, they might get it under contract at, say, $60,000, may sell it to you for, say, $70,000. So you're paying them $10,000, you're fulfilling the balance of the contract for the other $60,000. But wholesalers are wonderful, wonderful sources, and they can be really great resources, really, to build that portfolio. It's kind of one of those things. If you don't have a lot of time yourself, and I get that, you're busy right now, the market's going a little crazy, wholesalers can be a wonderful resource for you. Get on their list, because they're going to email that list anytime they get something under contract. So definitely stay in touch with them. Treat them right. Sometimes the wholesalers get a little aggressive in their expectation or estimate of value. So double check, do your homework, make sure that the value they're saying is a real value. I mean, it's a real price. Make them an offer, and look, don't be afraid. If you think that what they're asking is a little much, make them an offer. They won't get offended. Hey, what if they say yes? You've got yourself a great deal. Next are code violations. Code violations will, typically what I have found from properties that I've bought that have had code violations is an owner that just doesn't have the money to take care of the property. They love to, but they've just run out of money somewhere along the line. I mean, it could be for a host of different reasons, but they've just simply run out of money. What I would suggest you do is to go to, because of the times we're in now, it used to be a little easier, but now go to the building inspector's office. Just explain to him what you're looking for and ask, how do I get a list of properties that have building code violations? Now, you'll probably have to fill out a Freedom of Information Act form, but by contacting them, they'll explain to you the process and how to do it. Now, I would suggest you want to first start that conversation off by phone, because if you go down to the building inspector's office, you're liable to have other people over here, and well, why give yourself any more competition, right? Oh, I got to tell you, in Virginia, or at least in the Richmond area, I had bought a property that I knew it had some code violations, but it turns out they also have a separate, smaller department that is in charge of, in essence, this is the term they used, exterior maintenance issues. So what happened was there was some peeling paint on the trim outside. There was a front porch that had some very bad, very weak boards. There was a broken window. And it was a small window. I mean, this was probably no bigger than, I'd say maybe 8 inches by 10 inches, just a small piece of glass out of the window that was broke. Just minor things like that, high grass, but that became code violations, well, exterior maintenance violations. And the city was actually getting ready to take the owner to court. So definitely reach out to the building inspector's office about code violations. Ask about any other types of violations that may be there. You may find, too, that they have things like health and safety, not so much in the building code. They may refer to it as health and safety issues. So anyway, hopefully that gives you some things to think about in that code violation category, if you will. Next are condemned. Now listen, please do not buy a home that looks like the one in that picture. That would be bad. That home has structural issues, and that's not something you want to tackle. That one probably should just be knocked down and started over. However, condemned homes can be awesome opportunities. And you'll a lot of times find them just by driving down the road. In Richmond, they use big orange stickers, and I mean these are bright orange stickers, so you can't miss them. There are other localities, though, that use a red sticker, smaller. Some are red placards that get laminated and put on the property. Find out how properties get condemned in your area. And again, they keep a list. You should be able to get access to that list. Start with the building inspector's office, but you'll find out pretty quickly who you need to speak with and how that list is maintained and how you can get a copy of it. It's probably going to require you to fill out a Freedom of Information Act form, but that's not a big deal. It's a simple form. Now, the next is damaged and or insurance loss properties. And, this isn't just what you're thinking like in this picture. Gosh, this can be all sorts of things. I mean, it could be fire, flood, trees, wind knocking the trees down. Heck, it could be wind peeling the roof off. I've bought properties that have had fire damage before, and I have a really good friend of mine that's bought quite a few fire damaged properties. For him, he did contracting work. He did a lot of the insurance restoration work. And so he would a lot of times find the properties. Once the estimate came in, it was just simply far more than the insurance would pay. The owner just decided to take the money, stick it in his pocket or her pocket, and sell the property for whatever they could get for it. So you can find some great opportunities. Unfortunately, I don't have a good way to tell you about a list of any form or fashion for these types of properties. You kind of just see them while you're out riding around. And you do have to do a little bit of legwork to go and find the owner, track them down, because let's face it, they're probably not living at that property. And it's something that happened recently, so it's, where are they? How I would suggest you do it, It's how I've done it before, is you just simply leave notes at the house, mail them a note to that address. It'll get forwarded. But they will be stopping by that home after that loss. Everybody does. It's such a traumatic thing. And they stop by just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it happened. Is there anything I can salvage? Any of my memories I can salvage? So next is Craigslist. That can be a great resource. And a lot of people are very surprised to think about Craigslist. Most people think about Craigslist as maybe a way to market a rental property, which it can be a great resource for that. We do teach people how to use Craigslist to really effectively market rental properties and pre-qualify them. And by the way, you guys and gals are all real estate agents on this live. So you know how valuable it is and how important it is to pre-qualify your clients. All of these different ways pre-qualify the people when you're talking to them. Are they motivated? Do they really have a reason to sell? How many people have to, be involved in that conversation and that decision to sell, that kind of thing. But Craigslist is a wonderful resource because a lot of times you're going to have pictures of the property to look at. You will, in some cases, find and be introduced to wholesalers who put their homes on Craigslist. They'll send out the email at first. If they don't get a bite quickly, they'll do Craigslist. Sometimes they do them both at the exact same time, not knowing who's going to respond. And hey, if it's a newer wholesaler, they don't have that buyer list, they're on Craigslist to generate that buyer list. So Craigslist can be a wonderful way to find great off-market deals. You'll also find some wonderful for sale by owners here. And sometimes, you'll find people that are renting the properties that, well, if it made financial sense for them, they'd just as soon sell the property. So definitely don't discount Craigslist. Definitely use that. Add that to your arsenal. Now, the last one, well, actually two, this is kind of a bonus one here, is auction.com. Now, I have to give you a little warning on auction.com. They build themselves as like this huge depository of bank-owned auctions, REO real estate, okay, bank-owned real estate foreclosures. And they have a lot of properties that are pre-foreclosures listed on their website. And it's a great resource, don't get me wrong. It's a good place to go. However, please be aware, I have been there actually as of yesterday looking at a couple of properties in a particular zip code just to see what was there. And I found two, one of which I knew was going to foreclosure, and the foreclosure hasn't happened yet. The second one, though, the foreclosure took place last week, but it was saying it's happening tomorrow. So be careful of auction.com. It's a great resource. Just be aware of some of the limitations. Now, 10x.com, for me, didn't really have a lot to offer until about a year and a half ago. It's primarily an auction site, but it's just for commercial real estate. And me, if you recall from part one, I like residential rentals. And they really didn't have any multifamily until about a year and a half ago. They started getting more multifamily properties on their site. But it's all commercial, it's all auction, and they can assist you in going through that entire purchase process all the way to a successful closing on that site, on 10x.com. Now, this kind of brings me to the end of the ultimate guide to great off-market real estate deals. I think I've covered everything here. I guess actually if we add 10x to the list, that's actually 24 different ways to find great off-market deals. A lot of these you may know about, others you may not. They may have been a surprise to you. Some are ways that I know that you're thinking to yourself, gosh, I don't know if I could ever do that. And you're right. If you believe that, you're right. You never will. I believe, however, you can. As a matter of fact, I believe you can do anything you set your mind to. But I also know that a lot of people in their own mind have set up all these crazy limitations and these limiting beliefs. And I'm here to tell you, if I can do it, you can do it. So listen, I'm really hopeful that you have gotten at least one at least one way that you can feel comfortable doing, get started with doing, to either take more listings, make more sales, or to start investing for yourself. You know me, that's my passion, investing for yourself. That's why I love that quote from Warren Buffett that I just heard today. So look, get your free copy of this guide. Click that link above, okay? Name, email address. It's in the editing stage. It's almost done, and you will have it to you. In the meantime, we have a couple of great thank you gifts for you. If, however, you want to take things up a notch, and I mean serious here, if you're serious about bringing some growth and some stability to your real estate business, if you really want to take more listings and make more sales in less time, you want to improve your efficiency and your effectiveness, because you need those two together to be able to effectively and effortlessly take more listings or do more business in less time. I would like to apply for the job of helping you with that. Okay? See, if you're serious, and I mean really serious, about creating wealth from owning, okay? I mean, if you're a go-getter, I don't have time for people that talk a lot. If you're actually sincerely looking to add to your business, to grow your business, or maybe completely replace your current income from doing with wealth and income from owning, then these next few moments are going to be crucial to you. So please, just stick with me for a moment. If you're not interested in investing in real estate, I really appreciate your time. If, however, you're looking to take your business up quite a few notches, and maybe you think there's something that someone like me that has done 100 transactions a year for 6 years in a row might be able to teach you, especially when those last 2 years I was working about 3.5 days a week, doing 100 transactions a year, these next few moments are going to be really, really beneficial. You see, really, these next few moments, and I don't say this lightly, these next few moments can truly change your life. They can change your bank account and your net worth for the better, because as a result of speaking with a lot of great agents for the past 5, 6, 7 years, all of them are concerned about, at some point, slowing down their real estate business. And the big concern and the big fear, it's kind of unsaid, it was spoken in confidence to me, so I'm not naming names, was they are very concerned about living longer than the money they have in savings will last. And that's a valid point. I think a lot of people are like that. So what I did is I gave it a lot of thought, a lot of concern, because I enjoy what I do now. I don't need to be doing this, but it has been impressed upon me that there is a large need in the real estate community for learning how to increase your business, to do things more efficiently, more effectively, to just have more, as well as create a wonderful income stream for yourself. So what I've done is I've created Rich Agent Coaching's Inner Circle. And during that, what we're going to be doing, it's a monthly program. We're going to be doing deep dives into things like lead generation techniques that work. Now, these are real techniques, time-tested, proven, not the flavor of the month. And we're going to do our darndest to not talk about anything that some algorithm or one engineer at Google or Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter decides we got to stop that and not do this anymore. Because then, well, if that's what your whole business is built on, you're in trouble. We're going to go over powerfully persuasive listing presentations. I mean, these are presentations that, and this starts, by the way, at lead generation, okay, and goes all the way through the listing presentation process. My goal for you is to become irresistible to your client, to the point where they're actually anxious for you to come over, meet with them, or for them to have the opportunity to just work with you. Now, let me ask you something. How cool would it be if in advance people got excited about the opportunity to work with you? That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? Well, that can happen. I know because I've been there, I've done that. As a matter of fact, part of that is doing a CMA presentation that's so powerful that the seller really has no defense. They have to accept a price of their home, a value, within the range you have already predetermined. Now, think about that. If you could take more listings where the dollar amount made sense, how many more properties could you sell? We're going to go over how to profitably analyze flips. I see people all the time. They pay too much for the property. They spend too much for the improvements, the repairs. Maybe the contractor takes forever and a day, and it's just burning their money needlessly. So we're going to go over how to profitably analyze flips and how to manage that transaction. We're also going to go over how to analyze rentals for maximum profit. I love rental property. By the way, a lot of people think, oh, cap rates. Cap rate, yeah, just buy it on the cap rate. I don't know about you, but I cannot spend a cap rate. A cap rate is a percentage. It's not a dollar amount. I can spend $1, but I can't spend a cap rate. Don't use cap rates as the end-all be-all. They can be influenced way, way too easily. I know because of quite a few of the classes I had in college where we talked about cap rates. It was the teacher was an MAI appraiser himself. We're also going to be going over stress-free property management. Let me tell you, I have done everything on this list wrong. I've also figured out an awful lot of ways to do it right. And property management is the one thing that really used to give us the most consternation and the most challenge until we had a couple of epiphanies. And, that's really the key. Sometimes it's those simple things. You just kind of like that little light bulb, just ding, and you're like, oh, why didn't I think of that before? How long have I been? So we're going to go over stress-free property management. Look, you may not want to do it. But now if you're smart, you may want to hire somebody or maybe someone on your team or in your staff to do the property management. Now that could be an additional income stream for you. Owning rental properties can also add quite a bit of different income streams to you and your business. And more income streams are better. Look, even if you don't want to manage it yourself, you should know how, so that when you're talking with and interviewing a property manager, you'll know, are they doing it the way it makes sense to do, the way I would want it to be done? Or are they trying to be sneaky and maybe hide some numbers from me? So we're going to go over this and so much more. As a matter of fact, my goal is to also bring in a lot of great guests to be interviewed as well. So how's it structured? What is Rich Agent Coaching Inner Circle? Valid question. See, I've spent in excess of about $257,437 since 1981 learning and refining what I'm going to be sharing with you during these master classes, okay? And the guest interviews with top producing agents and top investors, that's priceless by itself. But here's what Rich Agent Coaching Circle has to offer. Okay, it's a monthly masterclass video. You're going to have that. It's all in a members password protected site. You're going to have a monthly masterclass in print. I realize sometimes you may not have time to sit down and listen to that entire or watch that entire video, but you can print it and you can read it when you have a moment here and you have a moment there. You can also highlight, circle, draw arrows, make notes on the sides, that kind of thing. You'll also have the monthly masterclass audio because I'm sure that you, like me, you spend a lot of time behind that windshield. So this way, if you don't have the time to watch the video, you can at least listen to it and learn that way. You can also, we're going to be getting you the masterclass slides. So on the presentation, if there's some slides, we're going to get those to you as well so that you can match that up with the print. You can match it with the audio, the video. You can put it all together. And in a lot of cases, that really just helps drive it home. It sinks it in so much better. There's going to be a private Facebook group where I'll be having quite a bit of interaction. And you can talk and interact amongst yourselves. And I think this is important, critically important as a matter of fact. There's going to be a monthly coaching, Q&A sessions, 1, 2, sometimes 3 times a month. All we're going to be looking to have you do is, hey, send us your questions so that what we'll do is put them together prior to that monthly Q&A. We'll get that out, go through them all, and we'll stay there as long as you have questions. As long as you're unclear, I want to make 100% sure that you are crystal clear with that. Then and only then will we end that. It could be a Zoom call. It could be something like this, but it will be, or it could just be a simple phone call. But we'll also get a transcription of that entire session, and that will be archived as well in your members section. So just in case you can't make that event, that call, you'll still have access to all that great information. Now, like I say, all of this information cost me a considerable amount of money, and it took me an awful lot of years to go through. So the big question is, what if you could shave years, truly years, maybe even decades off your learning curve? I mean, how much would it be worth to you to have an experienced investor or experienced investors share with you their secrets? Hold nothing back, 100% open and honest. And the really cool part is, for me, because I'm telling you, I have traveled an awful lot and I enjoy it, but not that much. You don't have to get on a plane, breathing in all this other funky air, sitting next to crazy people. For me, the part that drives me crazy is I pay for my seat. But sometimes the guy or the gal on the left or the right of me paid for their seat, but they're using part of mine. I don't know if you've ever had that happen, but you'd kind of like to squish them back over to the sides. You don't have to stay in a hotel. You don't have to eat any of that overpriced hotel food either. And you don't have to pay thousands of dollars just for a ticket to the event. Okay? So, what would it be worth to you if you could learn how to effortlessly take listings at a price that makes sense? I want you to think about that for a moment. Like I'd mentioned earlier, the people, your clients, your prospects, are anxious to meet with you. I mean, they can't wait for you to show up to list their property. It's like, yeah, I know we've talked to 2 or 3 other real estate agents, but we really want to see what Mary has to say. We can't wait for Bob to show up. Man, I'm so glad that Josh has taken a few time out of his day to come list my property for sale, or to be with Sarah and get that property on the market. So if you can take more listings more efficiently, more effectively, and effortlessly, I don't know what your commission is, but if you just did 1 more a year, just 1, how much does that impact your pocketbook? And what if you are now confident in making offers to buy great cash flow rental properties? And that happens with knowledge. The more knowledge you have, the more examples that we would be working through, right? The more confident you will be making offers to buy those rental properties. I mean, it's just that simple. And because of this, now you've got people that your sign is everywhere, right? You're taking listings left and right. People love you. Your clients and customers love you. Your competition is wondering, where'd you come from? How'd this happen? And you are buying rental properties. Now, this maybe not something you're sharing with everybody. Maybe you don't share with everybody that you own a lot of rental properties. As a matter of fact, I strongly encourage you not to tell the residents that you own the property that they're renting. You are just the property manager. We would get into that later. But that internal confidence, you can't buy it. You can't take a pill for it. That comes from within. That comes from a lot of wins, and it comes from just the knowledge that you know what you're doing. And there is where the magic happens, because now finally, you gain the respect and the recognition that you deserve. Finally, people are saying, man, Bob, Mary, Josh, Sarah, you guys are amazing. You're on fire. How are you doing this? That is a very cool feeling. So to repeat, Rich Agent Coaching Inner Circle, very simple. You've got a monthly masterclass video, a monthly masterclass in print, the monthly masterclass audio so you can listen whenever it's convenient. The print is obviously so you can read when you have a moment, take notes, circle, highlight, what have you. The monthly masterclass slides, if they're slides, you're going to get those too. The private Facebook group for a lot of great interaction. Monthly coaching and Q&A sessions. Like I said, this is going to be 1 to 2, sometimes maybe 3 a month. You're going to have all of that archived as well in a members section. These will be a lot of this will be emailed out. Some will simply be in your members site, and an email will go out to let you know that new information, new content has been posted. We're doing our best because this is information that you are being involved in. You have chosen to subscribe. You've chosen to be a member, and you've chosen to get better. So we want to make sure that we protect that and we respect that. And remember now, there's also going to be the additional bonus interviews, calls, information coming from, and great content coming from other top producing real estate agents, as well as some phenomenal investors. All of this for a ridiculously low monthly investment of only $77. Just $77. I mean, listen, that's less than a cup of coffee at 7-Eleven every day. I mean, it makes perfect sense. And for the first 35 people that choose to join this and join me, you will get a copy of my book, What I Wish They Had Told Me When I Got My Real Estate License. See, that's what I needed to hear, not what I wanted to hear, but it's the truth. It's a short read. This is not a booky book, okay? It's about 50 pages, actually less than about 50 pages, but it is jam-packed with information. It's what my business looked like when I was doing 100 transactions a year. So not only will you get that, but also for those first 35 people, you will get a copy of my book. I haven't made it available for sale. This book, What I Wish They Told Me When I Got My Real Estate License, is on Amazon right now for $19.95. Irresistibleness, my next book, I have not tried to market that yet. That will have a real value of $479. And what that is a compilation. And by the way, it's about 3/4 of an inch thick. If you print it all off, bind it, 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, it's about 3/4 of an inch thick. See, what this is my notes from countless books and seminars that I have attended on persuasion, on stage presence, on selling, and how to be effective, okay? This is also my notes from a class that I took called NLP that hasn't been taught for the past 13 years. All you're getting is my notes from that class. It was a 6-month class. It was $1,000 a month. I had to send 5 $1,000 checks in advance. Those were called severe accountability factors. Every day, Monday through Friday, I had to write 10 sentences, different ways to handle objections. I had convincer strategies, things that I wanted people to think about me before I showed up, or maybe while I was on the phone with them. These are all very powerful, powerful language patterns. And truthfully, it's one of the main reasons I was able to go to 100 transactions a year working 3.5 days a week. You're going to get all of that, plus every one of those sentences. And by the way, in that 6-month interval, at the end, I liked that class so much, I repeated it for another 6 months. Okay? So during that period of time, I wrote over 1,471 different ways to handle objections, to convince people to list their home with me, that I was the best agent for the job, and that I was the guy that knew what I was talking about, and they could trust me. They could feel comfortable with me and feel confident with me. So you're going to get that. That's a bonus. My way of saying thank you for your confidence in me, for the trust that you're putting in with me, and for being with me as we are starting Rich Agent Coaching together. Well, Rich Agent Coaching's Inner Circle together. In any case, all of that will be free when you join. First 35 people get all of that. Now, I know what you're thinking, and yes, we do offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee, and it works very simply. I can explain it in probably 10 seconds or less. If you are ever dissatisfied with me or my services, and we can't make it right, we will gladly end the membership, end the subscription right there, and we'll part as friends. I don't want anybody to ever feel they're not getting a great value for their money. It's just that simple. Now, remember, to get your free copy of the Ultimate Guide to Great Off-Market Real Estate Deals, just, hey, click that website above. All you got to do is click it, enter the information in there, name and email address, and we're going to have that guide to you. And look, if you got questions, I got answers. Send me an email. I'd love to get that email. Jesse@richagentcoaching.com. That's Jesse@richagentcoaching.com. And look, if you want right away making your business smoother and easier, creating and growing your wealth, and finally gaining the respect and recognition you deserve, hey, I'm here to help. This site is not ready yet. I'm not going to lie to you. I'd rather tell you the truth. Listen, I got a great memory, but the truth of it is, I don't want to ever be in a position of not really knowing what it is I told you when I see you again. So, this site is not up yet. It will be within about 1 week. We're just putting the finishing touches on it. But if you go to www.richagentcoaching.com/inner circle in about a week, and look, sign up, just name, email address, we will send out an email to let you know it's available. It's ready to go. I certainly appreciate your time today. I truly do. I know it's a fair amount of time out of your day. And listen, I hope you have a very, very powerful and productive and successful day. Take care, and thanks.